In this video I'll be attempting to create 3 LEGO Star Wars clone bases, each one in a limited time, first in 9 minutes, second in 90 minutes and third in 9 hours. For the 9 minutes creation I'm going to build a small camp on Geonosis, where I will include Captain Trix of the Republic Special Forces. I'm starting with a simple foundation made of plates, where I will create a surface layer of the terrain by using dark orange and medium nougat colors. Let's build the smaller versions of the Geonosis spires and let's add various accessories, food, sensors and other equipment that was taken by Captain Trix. The first creation is finished. It was my first attempt at building Geonosis and I like the final effect, especially for such a short time. For the 90 minutes creation I'm going to build a remote base on Felucia, where I will include 327 Star Corps Trooper, as well as my custom Sergeant Crash. Let's start with the classic black border for the nicer aesthetic, on which I'll build a simple terrain border. After that we can fill the center with the filler brick to lay the foundation for the bigger plates, on which I'll create the terrain of Felucia and prepare the place for the base. To build the terrain I'm using primarily reddish brown with mixture of olive green and dark tan colors. Felucia has a lively landscape and exotic plants, so let's make a very characteristic plant for this planet. And let's add it to the diorama. I'm really happy how nice this turned out, and with almost 55 minutes left, let's build the base. I'm starting with a door which I'm making by using side building technique, and in front of it I'm adding a classic shape for the Star Wars entrance. On the right I'm building a simply textured wall with the brackets that will be useful later. On the left I'm repeating this process, but this time in a different shape. After making a slight progress on top, I'm using brackets on the left side to create a smooth wall with a textured pattern and a control panel for the door. On top of it I'll add a roof panel at an angle. The brackets on the right I'll use for a nice wall texture with a Republic symbol in the center. Additionally, I'm reworking previously made roof panel, whose pattern I will continue on top, where I will add a small antenna. The remaining section of the roof I will finish off with some tiles, vent outlet points and some sensors. Let's add a few more details as well as the minifigures. I'm glad how well this diorama and base turned out. The remote base has a compact design that gets the job done and it nicely blends within the Felucia landscape and the vegetation. For the 9 hours creation I'm going to build a clone outpost on my custom world Renox V, where I will include my Captain Kyle, 4 Phase 2 clone troopers, 2 clone officers, 2 clone crew members and 3 B1 battle droids. Just like in the previous creation, I'm starting with a black frame and solid foundation where I map out the location of the base. Let's lay a lot of tiles, as I want this base to be located in the high mountains, so the ground won't be visible on this creation. The base itself will have a few unique levels that are going to be accessible by a ladder running through each one. Let's tile off the floor of the first level, which will be the armory. And as every good armory, it needs a lot of storage space, so let's build some shelves to store various equipment, as well as the weapon rack for the blasters and 2 crates with the Republic symbol. Let's place them into their intended spots to accommodate this space. The first level came out really good. I love all the little details I was able to put here and not overcrowd the place. Next I'm going to build up the walls and the stairs segment to give this level more space to breathe, especially as the next level will partially cover this area. It's time to create a technique-based structure of the platform for the second level, as well as some railings to ensure that nobody falls off. This section on the other hand will serve as a connection to the stairs. Let's lay some tiles in a very basic pattern to finish the floor of this section, and let's attach it all together with the creation made so far. Here I want to have an entry to the base from this side, which will connect the second level with a little platform extending from the rock formation. Next I'm going to finish the ladder section by extending the current design by 2 additional ladders. Let's create a simple textured wall to complete this corridor. It's time to build the final platform of the third level, for which I'm going to repeat most of the design choices from the previous platform to maintain the consistency of the style for this base. Let's attach it to the rest of the diorama and let's strengthen the connections. The base is already starting to look very cool, and yet we need to create the rest of the third level, the command center, but first we'll build the rock formations on the side. I'm going to use a side building technique for this stage of the creation. I want to create a seamless rock structure mixed within the regular terrain of my fan-made world Renox V. To do so I use a lot of wedge bricks and plates as well as quarter tiles. I also remember to leave a place within the rocks for the entrance to the base and the small platform connected to it. Alright, over an hour later we have completed this beautiful rock formation, which we are going to attach to the base. I'll use for that all the exposed stats we left before. Let's add a few dark red leaf pieces to this tree. This looks great and we have still the other side to build. I'm using the same building approach as before, but this time I'm making sure that the side that connects with the previous rock panel has a seamless transition and everything will fall in place nicely. I'm still mixing the dark green terrain with dark grey stones for a nice color combination that with olive green beads and dark red leaves on the trees will look amazing in the final result. The moment of truth, will it align correctly? Yes it did, and now let's rebuild the platform and add dark red leaves. On the right side I want to have another rock formation that by connecting to the main cliff will create an archway. That's why I'm extending the rocks forward to meet but not really connect to the other thin but tall rock formation. Which we are going to make by using a lot of modified 1x1 bricks with stats on two sides, as there isn't much room here to put more bricks inside, and we are still utilizing the side building technique. Oh, this took way longer than I expected, but we have finally completed this archway. Underneath it I want to add a few droids on stabs, closing in on the clone base, and for that I will use my stab design. Let's make some adjustments and let's add 3 stab droids to the scene. It's time to return to the upper part of the base, where I'm going to rebuild this small section to add more detail as well as the characteristic dark red color for the clone bases. For the top of the base I want to use this combination of rounded parts to create a curved window panel that will hopefully look cool, but it will be so tricky to make. I want to build it on the side, well that's the only way to do it really, and by using jumper plates to connect the window panels to the rounded section, and then mirror that design and connect it in the middle. Not gonna lie, it's quite a fragile design but accomplishes the rounded look I wanted and I'm super happy with it. Let's build up this wall and let's attach the window section, as well as strengthen the connections on each side. As for the interior, I'm going to add a few smaller details and lots of computers, control panels, screens and other devices to complete this level. It's time to complete the exterior. On the side I'm using a bunch of 2x1 tiled slopes, where in between I'm putting a bit of gribbling to add more details. 9-hour mark has run out, but I won't leave this unfinished. Let's make a simple color pattern with the tiles and let's add 2 defensive cannons on top. I mean we have still completed in 9-ish hours, so we are good, right? It's time for the minifigures. I love the final result. This is probably the tallest creation I have ever built and it looks great. The unique exterior design works so well with the tall and massive rock formations, and the interior is packed with a lot of details where each level has its specified role and purpose for the personnel. If you enjoyed this video, I encourage you to check out the next one, visible on the screen. See you soon!